Absurdians, and welcome back to the Manor Bar. I went shopping recently and I got a whole load of crazy new ingredients that I can try out, and I'm going to be trying out some of them this week. I'm going to make some awesome drinks and we're going to have a fantastic time. So yeah, I'm really quite excited about that. But let's dive in to today's drink. Nazis have been a mainstay in video games since very early on. Look at the Wolfenstein series where you fought Nazis and eventually fought Hitler. And what better group to be an enemy for video games? They are the real-life supervillains, universally reviled. You're not going to be in any sort of moral quandary about killing them because history books tell you they're pretty bad. But then came along zombies. Zombies were the perfect enemy for the modern age, where people didn't want to judge other people based on their race, where they're from, who they are. Zombies are a faceless mass of undeath, and that just provided the ultimate enemy in modern video games. But then Call of Duty came along with the zombie Nazi mode, and that just went off the freaking chain. Whether or not you're a massive gamer, you've probably heard of zombie Nazis in some form. It has expanded beyond the realms of video games and into films. You know, those cheap, really bad horror films with the zombie Nazis in it. They're pretty fun, actually. But anyway, so I'm going to pay tribute to Call of Duty's quite awesome zombie Nazi mode with the zombie Nazi cocktail. But before we begin, just a quick note on how it's supposed to be said, whether it's zombie Nazi or Nazi zombie. When you say zombie Nazi, zombie is acting as the adjective and Nazi is the noun. And that means that the Nazi has become zombified. That's generally what you're trying to say. Whereas, if you say a Nazi zombie, zombie is the noun and Nazi is the adjective, implying that the zombie has joined the Nazi party. Now, zombies aren't particularly capable of coherent and rational thought, so I don't think they're going to make the conscious decision to join the Nazi party. So you're probably trying to say a zombie Nazi. So, anyway, with that out of the way, let's see what we're going to need for this cocktail. We're going to be serving the zombie Nazi cocktail in a highball glass with ice, and we are going to need some Messerschmitt. Now this I found at the shop. This is one of these new ingredients I was talking about. It's essentially like not Jagermeister. Basically it's like a Jagermeister kind of drink, but I actually have found that I prefer it to Jagermeister. It might be because it's not quite as alcoholic. This is 22% alcohol volume, Jagermeister is something like 35, but I prefer the taste of this. And, for those of you who may not know, Messerschmitt was a company that manufactured planes for the Nazis during the Second World War. So what better ingredient to use in a zombie Nazi cocktail? You can just use Jagermeister if you can't find some of this, but I advise you give this a try. It's a really nice drink. We're also going to need to get out our blue curacao, some grenadine, and some lemonade to just top the whole thing off. So, let's put this thing together. You're going to start off with one measure of your Messerschmitt, and follow that up with one measure of your blue curacao, and then you're going to put in just a little bit of grenadine to kind of muddy up the colour that you've got in there. And then you're just going to top the whole thing off with some lemonade. And there you have the zombie Nazi cocktail. It is a lovely, deep, greeny blue, real colour of zombified undeath, and I just think that's wonderful. And now, it's time to try this and see how it is. Oh, that is gorgeous, that is wonderful! Seriously, this, I'm going back for more. That is fantastic. It is like a soft drink. I could easily wash this down. It is probably quite dangerous in that regard, but seriously, if you're a fan of just a light, sweet drink that's quite honestly quite refreshing, then definitely try out one of these. So definitely try and make yourself one of these, and join me next time when I'm going to be using some more super new ingredients to make something awesome. In the meantime, I've been Rich Perry, and this is the Manor Bar. Cheers!